Many schools across the mountains are dealing with a teacher shortage. We'll take a look at what administrators are doing to minimize the impact in classrooms. And some high school students at the Big Sandy learn how to operate a business by starting their own thrift store.
Plus, we are tracking some dry weather through Friday, but big changes on the way by this weekend. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
School districts nationwide are continuing to deal with teacher shortages. In Letcher County, school officials are dealing with shortages in several roles. Superintendent Denise Yount says they are struggling to find new applicants. She says they are also trying to find substitutes to fill those roles.
In art, music, in the library, and then I have open positions that I can't even find substitutes for in our classified staff, as in instructional assistants, cooks, bus drivers, and of course we don't have enough substitutes for any of those positions.
Yount says they are implementing several ways to help staff and students during this time. We'll have more on what they hope to do tonight at 6. A thrift store in Pike County is shining a light on the students. North Point Academy's Jobs for America's Graduates, or JAG, students opened their first thrift store this week, cutting the ribbon on the student-ran, student-organized thrift store in the former Helping Hand space behind the school. Those involved say it gives the students first-hand experience running a business and serves as a way to bring in funds for student trips and expenses.
Helping in the store, it means a lot to the school and all the JAG students because it brings in money for us and helps us. And we wouldn't have been able to do it without Rick.
The JAG class is led by Rick Branham, who says he's proud of the students and their hard work. Hear more about the store and its student-led mission coming up tonight at 6.
Well, as promised, we are tracking plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures across the mountains on this Thursday afternoon. Let's take a live look across the region from London to Hazard to Pikeville. We are tracking nothing but blue sky. Those temperatures also above average. We should be close to 50. Most of us right now in the middle to even upper 50s in some areas. And again, a clean sweep up on the radar as that high pressure continues to sit over the southeastern coast. So we are watching out for some more dry weather into this evening, also tonight, and more dry weather also on the way on Friday before some changes into this weekend. Now we are tracking a breezy wind out of the south up to 15, possibly 20 miles per hour at times. So as we see more sunshine, also some more breezy weather, those temperatures continue to warm above average in the middle to upper 50s, up to 57 for Somerset, also Manchester, 54 in Harlan, and 48 the cool spot, one of the cool spots over in Grundy at this hour. So most of us are above average, and be sure to enjoy this nice weather on Thursday, also Friday, because we are tracking those changes as early as this weekend. More showers, also more breezy weather on tap, and we could see a few more snowflakes by late Sunday, also early on Monday. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thanks. Republican senators in Washington have blocked $110 billion in emergency spending for Israel and Ukraine on a procedural vote. That is, as they seek billions more for U.S. border security. Peter Zalmayev, director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative, explains how the suspension of aid to Ukraine could affect that country's military campaign against Russia.
The argument is being made is why should the Americans be concerned with helping secure Ukraine's borders when their own borders are not secured? Having said that, this will be a significant blow, not just to Ukraine's ability to defend itself, but to America's very credibility on the world stage.
Some foreign affairs experts say once the current aid for Ukraine runs out, the consequences will be catastrophic. The government agencies that oversee U.S. airlines are taking a new look at their mental health regulations for pilots after an off-duty Alaska Airlines captain allegedly tried to turn off the engines of a plane in mid-flight. The National Transportation Safety Board convened a mental health forum to examine what needs to change. CBS's Chris Van Cleve is at Washington's Reagan National Airport.
19-year-old student pilot John Hauser was struggling with his mental health in silence for months, fearing seeking help would lead him to losing his FAA medical certification required to fly. He took his own life by crashing this plane in October 2021.
John did not have a known history of depression.
His mother, Ann Sue.
In a letter describing the turmoil that John was silently facing, he wrote, "I want to seek help more than anything. I just know if I try, I will have to give up on aviation. And frankly, I'd rather not be here than to do that."
Disclosing mental health issues can lead to a pilot being grounded by the FAA. United Airlines First Officer Troy Merritt grounded himself a year ago to get treatment for anxiety and depression. He says he's taking an approved FAA medication, but it could take another year out of work before regulators allow him to fly again.
Had the barriers that are in place today not been there, I know I would have sought treatment earlier.
One study found more than 56% of U.S. pilots avoid seeking medical treatment out of fear of losing their FAA certification to fly.
We got the message loud and clear from all sides. If you want to fly, you can't admit anything is wrong.
Court documents say off-duty Alaska Airlines captain Joseph Emerson allegedly took psychedelic mushrooms 48 hours before he attempted to turn off the engines of an airliner in mid-flight, reportedly telling police he'd been battling undiagnosed depression. He's expected to be arraigned today on dozens of charges, including 83 counts of reckless endangerment.
Choosing between lying and flying without seeking help, that's not a choice.
Following that October incident, the NTSB called this first-of-its-kind mental health forum. Board Chair Jennifer Homendy.
It sounds like from where you sit as the chair of the NTSB, the existing regulations aren't good enough.
The existing rules are arcane. At the very least, pilots and others need to be able to sit down, talk to a therapist, and not worry about the impact on their jobs.
The FAA says it does provide a pathway for pilots to return to the cockpit, but ahead of the forum, the agency announced a panel to review existing mental health regulations. FAA Administrator Michael Whitaker.
We need to have a system that allows people to be more forthcoming and to have treatment for issues that shouldn't keep you out of the cockpit.
Coming up on First at 4, one major payroll tracking company says some corporations across the nation scaled back hiring last month.
Plus, we are tracking some dry weather to continue into this evening, but rain chances on the way by this weekend. Those details coming up.